Hello, I'm Dan Ramey, contributing editor to Internal Auditor Magazine's Fraud Department and president and founder of Houston Financial Forensics. I am pleased to introduce this episode of Fraud on the All Things Internal Audit podcast, which provides fictionalized accounts of fraud based on actual events.
A Fraudster's Second Act, Part 1, The Generous Colleague. At first, Bridget Conrad seemed like the dream employee. An account manager at a regional bank, she had the kind of charm that could light up a room. She threw office parties, sent surprise gifts, even raised champagne glasses for the smallest wins. Her co-workers adored her. They called her loyal, thoughtful, and generous. Bridget made work feel like a family, one former colleague recalled. But behind the smile and the champagne toasts was a scheme no one suspected. Between 2012 and 2014, Conrad rerouted more than $500,000 from her employer's vendor payments straight into her personal bank account across town. She had access to the records, the authority to move money, and the confidence that no one was watching too closely. Her generosity was her cover. The parties, the gifts, the celebrations, every bit of it funded with stolen money. The illusion collapsed in 2014. Federal prosecutors charged Conrad, and the courtroom filled with stunned colleagues who felt betrayed. The CFO summed it up. Many of Ms. Conrad's colleagues would have had to work for over 10 years to earn what she stole in just 2. The sentence, 33 months in federal prison, 5 years of supervised release, and $462,000 in restitution. To many, that would have been the end of the story. For Conrad, it was only intermission. Part 2, A Fresh Start. Prison life didn't dim Conrad's charm. By all accounts, she was a model inmate, generous, friendly, even helpful with financial advice. She also learned something new: how to obtain a Social Security number that would slip past most background checks. When Conrad walked free, she relocated to Georgia. At first, she lived quietly, modestly. Nearly a decade passed before she returned to her criminal ways. Her first stop was Legacy Realty, where a staffing agency placed her as an accounts payable clerk. The company trusted the agency's background check. Nothing alarming came up, so she was hired. Conrad dazzled her new colleagues just as she had before and impressed controller Troy Martin, who considered hiring her full-time. But business slowed. Her position was cut, and Conrad moved on. Soon, she was working at Rise Above Construction as a staff accountant. When business picked up again at Legacy, Martin asked her back. She agreed. But here was the twist. Conrad never left Rise Above. She quietly worked both jobs, hiding the overlap. At Rise Above, where she had access to payroll and banking, she found her opening. Part 3, The Payroll Play. The irregularities started small. Vendor payments that didn't reconcile, duplicate invoices, and unexplained changes. An internal audit at Rise Above uncovered the truth. Conrad was manipulating payroll records. When employees left the company, she never terminated them in the system. Instead, she switched their bank account information to her own. Conrad's scheme was simple and bold, and it netted her $150,000. When confronted, she didn't deny it, she just didn't stick around. Calmly, she walked out, got in her car, and drove straight to her other job at Legacy Realty. She logged in, sent emails, followed up on invoices as if nothing had happened. But this time, her past couldn't stay hidden. Rise Above CEO picked up the phone and called Martin. "You need to know," he said. "Bridget is committing fraud against our company. We have the evidence." Part 4. Caught in the Net. Legacy Realty acted fast. They brought in an internal audit consultant, combed through controls, and checked for signs of fraud. Fortunately, their systems held strong. Dual approvals for payments, a third-party vendor platform to prevent bank account changes, segregated payroll functions. Conrad had tried, but the safeguards kept her from striking again. Both companies fired her immediately. Rise Above pressed charges. Today, Conrad is awaiting trial. Her story shows how easily charm can mask deception, and how a fraudster's second act can be just as costly as the first.
You've been listening to All Things Internal Audit Fraud. Want the full story and bonus? Check out this month's issue of Internal Auditor magazine at internalauditor.theiia.org. Stay sharp, stay ethical, and stay tuned for the next episode of All Things Internal Audit Fraud.